So today it's Menopause Monday, my 6th instalment, and I'm going to be chatting about insomnia through the menopause today, and which is quite appropriate because my night last night was very insomniacal, if that's a word. It is now. Dogs, smoke alarms going off again, setting the dogs off. It was just, so I'm feeling a bit shabby today, so I thought it was a good one to go over insomnia. Now, when we go through the menopause, I think insomnia is because we go through so many different changes. So our hormone levels are fluctuating, which I'm going to go over in more detail in a little minute as to why that actually makes us sleep worse. But it's not just our hormones. Often it's because we're at a change of life. So it might be that we've got children leaving home. My daughter's getting ready to go to university. I'm going to miss her like mad. You know, soon my son will be leaving home, and all of a sudden my role as a mum changes dramatically. Even though I'll always be their mum, I know life is going to be really different soon. And that creates a lot of stress and anxiety in a woman. And for me, certainly, it's part of life. You know, they have to flee the nest at some point, and if they want to come back, they're always going to be very welcome. But it is one of those things, and we go through a huge amount of change in our lives. And I think combined with things like the hot flushes or flashes that we get, those for sure are one of the reasons I sleep quite intermittently. Also the fact that I share my room with my dogs, and they wake me up too, and my cats. But you know, there are various things that are going on inside our bodies that are making our sleep even worse during the menopausal years. So the reason down to our hormones why it's more difficult to get to sleep and stay asleep well during the menopause is because our progesterone hormones are dropping off, and progesterone helps us feel calm and it helps us feel relaxed. And so when those levels are falling, as they do as we get through, sort of progressively go through our perimenopause and then beyond our menopause into our post-menopausal years, that affects our ability to drop off to sleep and also then to stay asleep soundly through the night. Also, as we get older, our ability to absorb magnesium in our body drops off, and most of our magnesium is absorbed from the gut. Magnesium is a really, really important mineral that we all need, and we don't create it naturally within our body. So most of it comes from dietary sources. So thank you for the heart. Thank you for the hearts. That's so kind. So, you know, things like leafy vegetables. One of the best things for me is that dark chocolate and caffeine all contain magnesium. And bananas, because I love those too. So, but you want things like spinach, broccoli, dark leafy greens, seeds, quinoa, mackerel. Okay, right. The top 3 sources of highest magnesium content per dietary serving, however they call it, is mackerel, cashews, and quinoa. So, you know, if you're feeling like you can get your magnesium levels checked, and in actual fact, a lot of adults are deficient in magnesium. Magnesium is one of those really, really vitally important minerals in our bodies. It helps heart health, bone health, our nerve reflexes within the body. But primarily, I'm only going to go into it today really around sort of sleep and menopause, but it is a really, really, really important mineral, and most of it comes from our diet. So if you're not eating a lot of healthy foods regularly, that might mean that you could well have a magnesium deficiency. You would need to go and get your levels tested. I'm not a doctor, so go and see your physician and go and, you know, maybe ask if you're feeling very tired, feeling lethargic, you've got joint pains. The other thing to do is to just improve your diet and see if it makes a difference to how you feel, and it probably will do because you're lifting up your magnesium levels. So don't disregard magnesium. It is vitally important, and it helps us to sleep. So when you've got decent magnesium levels, it helps you to relax more and it helps you to sleep better. So that's one thing to remember. And then the next one I really want to cover is melatonin. Now, melatonin is created in the pineal gland in our brain. But we need serotonin in our bodies in order to create melatonin. And melatonin is basically what helps us sleep. During the night, our bodies release melatonin. So when we're in a darkened room, our brain releases melatonin, which helps us sleep well and maintain a steady sleep pattern. When we sleep in a room that's got a light on, or there might be lights outside in your street, that is going to have an effect on your sleep, because actually it's not just our eyes that see light. We've got light receptors in our skin as well. So for instance, I don't sleep with curtains. So during the summer months, I tend to sleep less than I do during the winter months. I think actually I'm part bear, because I'd actually quite like to hibernate during the winter months. I don't like the winter. And the reason for that is because the light, even if my eyes are closed, even if I wore an eye mask, which I couldn't do because it would drive me nuts, but I know a lot of people do successfully wear eye masks, your skin is going to pick up the fact that it's getting lighter. And so those light receptors signal to your brain, hey, it's time to wake up. You start to produce less melatonin, you start to produce more serotonin, and that then helps get you up and get you on with your day, increase your focus, etc. However, if we are not getting outside regularly, because we need ultraviolet light for decent serotonin production, if we're not eating healthy foods, things like eggs, turkey, bananas again, coriander, chocolate again, is really good for helping us create serotonin. We are not going to make melatonin, and we want the melatonin to help us sleep well. So there are certain things that you can do to help. So basically, you want to be boosting your magnesium intake, and you want to be maximizing your chances of your brain releasing as much melatonin as possible. Because unless you have HRT or bioidentical hormone treatment, your progesterone and your estrogen levels are going to continue to fall. And you probably know I'm going the natural route, so I haven't done HRT or anything like that. So I know that I've got to supplement my falling progesterone levels with things that are going to help me on a lifestyle basis in order to promote better sleep. One of the most important things you can do, and it's something that I say in just about every single one of my lives, is exercise, because exercise helps us gobble up stress hormones, and it helps us release serotonin, that feel-good hormone. And also, we are not designed to be sedentary. We are designed to move. So it's incredibly important, not just for our sleep, but for our cardiac health, the reducing fat, or the amount of fat that our cells hang on to. Fat acts like a sponge and hangs on to hormones, which is why you see certain cancers you're much higher risk of getting certain cancers if you've got a lot of excess fat. So it's another reason to try and get your fat levels down. So yeah, you want to get out in nature, or out in the ultraviolet light for a short period every day. Eat food that is clean and healthy most of the time. But that also includes dark chocolate and caffeine, so that's a bit of a winner. And avoid things like blue lights. So blue lights are the worst lights for disrupting your circadian rhythm. So blue light actually makes the brain not release enough melatonin, which is the hormone that helps you sleep well. So things like, if you're working on a laptop, I tend to work on a laptop quite late at night. I've actually got my reading spectacles now, and they've got lenses in which help cut out the blue light. But a lot of us have e-readers and read in bed with an e-reader. That's got a blue light. So either wear your spectacles, even if you're not short-sighted or long-sighted, maybe just get some specs that have got the blue frames in them, the lenses that will actually filter out the blue light. Red light is the best light to use towards night time to prevent you from being kept awake by interrupting your melatonin production. Try and dim the lights in your house. And I would say avoid the laptop a good 2 hours before you're going to bed, because it frazzles my brain no matter how tired I am. And I've practiced on myself so many times to try and prove it's the laptop, and it is the laptop every single time that frazzles my brain. Read a book instead of an e-book, or maybe listen to an audiobook so you don't even have to open your eyes. Make sure your room's nice and dark. Make sure your room is reasonably cool. A hot room will disrupt your sleep as well. If you live in a very light area, maybe consider getting blackout curtains and really go dark. But then you know, you're going to need an alarm clock to wake you up. There are alarm clocks on the market that actually act like a sunshine. So it actually creates like a really soft daylight that starts to appear really gradually. So it's quite a kind way of waking you up, rather than like one of those old-fashioned alarm clocks that I used to have. So there are things that you can do. Epsom salts also, I just wanted to mention, that is a really good form of way of getting more magnesium as well. You want about a 300-gram serving per bathful, and you can relax in the bath for sort of 15-20 minutes, and your skin will absorb the magnesium from the Epsom salts, which will also help you to sleep. It'll also help your muscles relax. Epsom salts are fantastic for sore muscles. If you've been working out and you're a little bit stiff, get in an Epsom salt bath. That will also help. And I have a sleep hygiene document. I've mentioned it before, so some of you may already have it, but if you've not already got it, in the Linktree link in my Instagram bio, click that, and there is an option there for the sleep hygiene document. Fill that in. It's literally just your name and email, and I'll shoot that across to you. It's really useful, and it's 13 steps that go over things that are going to help promote your sleep. Essential oils, things like lavender and Roman chamomile, are ever so good. Just a couple of drops in some oil that suits you, but olive oil, if you haven't got any, things like grapeseed oil or almond oil, coconut oil it could be, and you can either rub it into your temples, or you can rub it into your hands, or rub it into your stomach. You can put a few drops in your bath water, but that's really nice. Some people use like a lavender spray on their pillow. You can use a diffuser, so that lets out the essential oil fragrance as you sleep. Things like that are all going to be really, really beneficial. But certainly lavender and chamomile, Roman chamomile, are two of the better ones as far as promoting sleep go. And don't eat too late before bed, whether you're menopausal or not menopausal. A full belly is gonna not help you sleep. So I hope that helps. Essentially, just going over it again, it's the fact that progesterone levels are falling, which helps to calm us, so we're a bit more frazzled. Hot flushes, change of life situation, those can increase our stress. Magnesium levels drop as we get older, particularly in women, and magnesium helps us to relax and helps us to sleep well. It's like the relaxing mineral, and it's incredibly important for us, and we can only get magnesium, really, main magnesium sources are from our diet. And melatonin production, which is a hormone created by the pineal gland in the brain. You need to do whatever you can in order to help the secretion of melatonin, which will help you sleep for longer. But in order to have healthy melatonin levels, you need to work on your serotonin too, which involves working out, moving your body, getting outside into ultraviolet light. Those are all things which are going to help you. And magnesium, leafy vegetables, dark chocolate, caffeine, quinoa, cashews, mackerel. For serotonin, your things like, and also bananas, but also bananas for serotonin, eggs, turkey, coriander, dark chocolate, seeds, nuts, tofu is also really good. So yeah, essentially it's eating lots of vegetables throughout the day, and just having a fairly clean and healthy diet with occasional treats, because we all need them, otherwise life's really, really boring. So anyway, I hope that helps. Click the Linktree link in my Instagram profile if you'd like the sleep hygiene document. And if there are things that you want me to cover in my future Menopause Mondays, leave me a comment or send me a private message, and I'll make sure to tag you in it so that you don't miss it when I cover that. And I'll give you a heads up as to when I am going to be going live about that. So thanks so much, you guys, for joining me, and look forward to chatting to you again soon.